I would say that when Jesus said to the disciples, "Go and make disciples of all nations," they instinctively went and planted churches. That's how it happened, that's what took place. And churches were new communities of believers where people were made into disciples. And the first phrase that's used to describe being converted is that they were added. 3,000 were added. It doesn't say they were converted, doesn't say they became Christians. It says they were added. And so to me, becoming a Christian becomes being added to a community. And so for me, the local church is fundamental. And so the health of that local church will affect how people get saved. What they find when they get added will affect what they become, how they are changed. Because you can have a glorious conversion, but join a rather cold church, and that's not going to do you any good. You can get saved by just reading a tract, but if you join a healthy family, you can be brought into health. So the church, to me, is fundamental.
I can think of many people who are in church situations where the church is not healthy, the church doesn't see people come to know Christ, and they're really struggling to work that out. So presumably in those circumstances, do you feel there's a place for something that's wider, something that's bigger, such as a crusade by Billy Graham or the equivalent of him today?
Oh, certainly. I mean, I honour Billy Graham enormously. What a great man of God he's been, and what a ministry he's had. I just feel that to grow up into Christ, to become a disciple of Jesus, I think it's impossible to grow into full maturity without fellowship. You can't do it alone, and I don't think it was intended to be that way. So we need one another. When I was converted, my parents were not Christian, and I had no background, no one had ever opened the Bible with me, and so I was encouraged, go to church. And at first I just added that to a pretty pagan lifestyle, to be honest. I didn't change my lifestyle much, I just started going to church. And then later, one Sunday, I just felt convicted of my lifestyle and thought, well, I must cut out things. And I found it very difficult because I lost lots of friends. I got them to church once, nearly all of them, and they found it quaint, strange, old-fashioned, inaccessible, and they said, how do you put up with this? So to me, I wanted to change the church for the sake of evangelism, because I thought of all my contemporaries, they're not listening to the gospel because they found the church so strange. And so I felt the church must be relevant. How can we win the lost with other church that you can feel at home in? And then later, when I got filled with the Holy Spirit, I felt God wanted a fresh wineskin where his presence could be enjoyed. So for two motivations, I wanted to see a new kind of church. I guess that's one of the reasons we've started new churches all over the place.